everyone, and welcome to the complete green set before BFC. And we start with Beast Color Savant and 2 mana 1/1 creature elf summon alive with haste that you get to tap and add 1 mana of any color you want to your mana pool. But you can use this only to cast creature spells. So he's kind of like a worse Sylvan added. For limited, since you mostly run creature spell, he's good because he's a mana dork, and mana dorks are, unless they're overcosted, good. For standard, probably we'll see some play in elves. For limited, he's also an ally, so Raleigh triggered again. And for modern, we could see 1 or 2 copies of in the elf deck list, just because he has haste, so he can get that overrun buff and attack at the same time. Moving on, we have Blister Pod, which is a 1 mana 1/1. When it dies, you get a 1/1 Scion. So again, this 1-drop actually has the potential to be good because it's a 2/2 in disguise. So it's pretty good, I think. You don't want too many of it, but again, it's real nice. That gives you a way to go ahead on your mana. Then we have Brood Monitor, which is a 6 mana 3/3 that gives you 3 1/1s Scions when it enters the battlefield. Talking about strong cards, look at this guy. 6/6 for 6 that you get from 6 to 9 mana pretty much. This is very strong and limited. It's one of the most bomby creatures I've seen in the set, for uncommons at least, because it ramps perfectly into all the broken Eldrazi stuff. Very good card. It's like the Emerald plus Hatcher from the original Rise of Eldrazi. Then we have Brute Hunter Worm, a 4 mana 4/3. We really haven't seen that much of card, but it's pretty boring to me. It's okay in limited because it's just a better hit giant, but it's not something. It's very good. Then we have Call the Scions, 3 mana to summon 2 1/1s. Is it worth it? 3 mana to summon 2 1/1s? Most of the times no, because we already have an example of Raise the Alarm. This is even sorcery. So is it worth it for this card? I mean, it's pretty decent because it's like you do a double rampant growth of some sorts, because you get 2 mana for a turn. So this goes you from 3 mana to 5 mana instantly, and next you have 6 mana, so you can cast something really big. It's an okay card, don't take too many of those, but it's pretty good if you manage to get down to 10-3. Then we have Earthen Arms. It's a sorcery for 2 mana. You get to put +1/+1 counters to target permanent, and you get to do an Awakening 2 for 7 mana to get a 4/4. Actually, this card is pretty strong. You get to put 2 counters on something, so it's permanent buff. And you can put it to your land, so you can do your Awakening like a 6/6. So the question is, would you play a 7 mana 6/6? Yes. Would you play a 7 mana 4/4 that gives a guy a counter? Yes, but it will be more sad. And I think this card's actually okay. It's not a combat trick, really, it's just a buff effect, but it's pretty decent, I think. Not something that will be very highly, but still pretty decent. We're going to have Eyeless Watcher, 4 mana for a 1/1 that you get 2 1/1s. So again, you go for 4 mana to 6 mana, and then to 7. So he's pretty good. All the cards Spontogies are good. It's slightly weaker than the other guy that we saw, but it is to be expected. He's all in common. Then we got the Ultra evolution of Awakening Zone. It's From Beyond, 4 mana for a Devoid Enchantment. At the beginning of your grab, you get a 1/1, and you can use 1 colorless and 1 black to sacrifice it, and search your library for an Eldrazi card and put it in your hand. So this card is insanely good and limited. Whether it or not we will see some standard play, we must wait and see. Actually, it will most definitely see commander play. Some people were saying this card about Tron decks, but I don't think you'd really want to do this with Tron. I mean, if you get 4 mana to cast this, you should be probably assembling your Tron anyway, and then you have 5 Wiggins as your address, so that's it. We're going to have Giant Mantis, so it's a giant spider, but they just the insect type. Always decent card, 4 mana, 2/4 reaches, very good. We're going to have a Green Wonder of Murasa, one of the best cards in my opinion of the set for the standard format. It's a 6 mana 5/4 and he's pretty much a double regrowth, so whenever he enters battlefield you return a card from your graveyard to your hand, and whenever he dies you exile him and you get a card from your graveyard to your hand. Insane Bomb Unlimited, insane card in commander, gonna be stapling anything running green. And also insane card for standard, since we have since we have all the ways to get stuff from your deck. Incinerator, that's what cards I was looking for. So you can Incinerator into this and take the Incinerator back to your hand and do it again, and it's gonna be a fun way to abuse it. Moving on, we have obviously one of the best green cards you can get in limited. We have Infuse with Elements, so it's a 4 mana converts that you get to put X+1+ counters on a creature where X is the number of color mana you spend to cast this, and the creature gains trample till end of turn. So if you do it for 2 mana, it's okay, it's actually on par because you gain the trample too. If you get to do it on 3, it's becoming very good. If you do it on 4, it's insane. Still I think it's pretty weak because even though the counters are permanent, the chance that you get to do it for more than 2 is slightly off, so we'll have to wait and see how much versatility you can put into your deck to make this actually useful. We're going to have Jadi Offsuit, a 1 mana 0/3 defender that you get to get 1 life whenever it lands in the battlefield. Boring, let's go on here. Lifespring Druid, 3 mana 2/1 elf druid. You get to tap it to add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. This is an insane corner card, isn't it? I mean, a mana dork that adds any color of mana and it's common, and it's not that badly cost, it's 3 mana. It's insane limited because you can wage around your converts, so you can say you have a card that you want to cast for green and red, now you can add blue, for example, you have 3 converts. So C is the converts master, I guess. Very good in limited, not a super high pick because of bad stats, but decent if you want a way to ramp. Then we have Murasa Ranger. So 4 mana 3/3 heal giant, already good. It's not gonna lie, slight downside. Landfall, when land is the battlefield, you may pay 4. If you do, you put 2 counters on him, so the next turn he can become a 5/5 and then grows. It's pretty decent, not too crazy though, because you need to waste a turn after you put the land to put the counters on him. That being said, stay pretty decent magic card. We're going to have Natural Connection. Of course, map the wastes pretty much, so it's pretty bad, I guess, but it's an instant. I hadn't noticed that. So let's say something. If an instant rapid growth for 1 more mana, is it worth it in constructed? So for limited, it's like color up effects, it's okay if you want to go for that style of deck. If you're going for a mod mid-range, board domination control deck, no. For standard, it's good to keep 3 mana open to ramp. It's on the edge of being good, I think. We'll have to wait and see. I cannot think right now because see, you want to play a ramp deck, so you get your mana dork out, you get your creatures out. I don't think we'll see something like this. Then we have Nissa's Renewal. You get to, for 6 mana, get fetch 3 basic lands, tapped, and you gain 7 life. So it's a well cost for the effect. It's just too expensive for constructed. In limited, It's actually pretty good because you thin your deck for 3 cards and you go for 6 mana to 9 mana, so you go instantly to a Drazi mana. The 7 left is actually pretty decent, even for limited. For commander, if you really want to ramp them nuts, then go for it. Then we have Aura Reef Hydra, one of the most boring ones from the cycle pretty much. It's a 6 mana 5/5 trample. Whenever a land is a battlefield, it gets a counter. If it's a forest, it gets 2. So if you're playing a heavily green deck, it becomes a 7/7 and a 9/9. It's insane. Obviously limited, it's a bomb, like most of the rares. No chance otherwise though. We're going to have Aura Reef Invoker, 2 mana to 2 for 8 mana, gives something +5/+5 and trap. This is actually insanely good for limited because this is a bear already, and in late games it becomes super useful. It makes something so huge. It's just you can be pushing for one creature a turn just doing that. It's like that riding the dinosaur from the original Zendikar. I don't remember the name right now. We're going to have Plated Crusher, 7 mana, 7/6 for a trample and hexproof. Wow, talking about limited bombs, this is one. Trample is already pretty good. Hexproof is like, try to find a way to deal with this guy with what you have on board. Pretty strong. Insanely strong card actually for limited. One of the easily first picks. The only downside is that it's 3 green, so you're pretty committed into green, but green being green, you'll find a way to cast it. There's no way. You have ramp effects and you have many other things that fix your mana. Then you have another return from the damned. It's Plummet, the classic 2 mana destroy take with flame. This is always good. You can run 1 copy in your green deck because green almost always has a problem with flyers, and if your opponent has no flyers, just remove it after the game 1. Decent limited card. If it is to see standard play, it has to have too many flyers. We're going to have Reclaiming Pine. So 4 mana destroy take that from enchanted land. These cards always suck unlimited and suck general, so it's a pretty bad card. Then we have the final of the retreat cycle. It's Retreat to Kazandu, 3 mana or land for you either gain 2 life, bleh, or you get to put a +1/+1 on counter attack creature. So again, you need to have this online at the 3 if you are to get some value. That being said, the 2 life is relevant only when you're behind on life and you're afraid from a bear spell or something, and the counter is when you want to build your arms a little bit. So it's again okay, not something too game breaking though. We're going to have Rot Sampler, 2 mana 1/1 that whenever another creature you control dies, you gets a counter. Not very good in my opinion. Cards like this usually do something. I don't see this doing much. I mean, I can understand that you can sacrifice your science and he gets bigger, but he's an okay card. He's nothing too good in my opinion. Then we have Scythe Leopard. So it's a fixed step links. It's a 1 mana 1/1 with it gets +1/+1 whenever you play a land. Still pretty good for an aggressive deck, even limited. I could see an aggro deck in standard want to run this if you actually want to be aggressive and don't care. And this is pretty much about this card. Let's move. The next one we have Seek the Wilds, 2 mana. You look at the top 4 cards of your library, you may reveal a creature or a land card, and the others are put in the bottom of the library in any order. So a 2 mana card that gives you either a land or a creature. It could be good, but usually cards like this don't end up Seek playing, because if you waste your turn 2 to play this, you're already behind. And if your opponent has played turn 1 and turn 2 play, then it's really hard to regain tempo. We're going to have Snapping Gnarlit, 2 mana 2/2 on a land, he gets +1/+1. Pretty decent card, a bear with good upside, is always pretty good. Moving on to Swell of Growth. It's a 2 mana, attack creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn, and you may put a land or hand on the battlefield. It's an instant. So it's a buff that you get to also put a land. Actually, this could be very good because way worse titanic growth, but the land may trigger a landfall that will help you. So I think this is a very good play in Unlimited. Then we got a much needed reprint, Silver Scrying. It has status of pick up on price. It's a pretty decent card. If we get a good land, which we haven't really yet, for standard this would be also good standard, but for now in modern it fits in the green red Ron decks as always. We're going to have Tataru Beastmaster, so it's a 6 mana 5/5, and on rally your creatures get +1/+1 until end of turn. He's a pretty decent sized guy, he buffs your team, that's about it. It's pretty okay. Then we have Tataru Stalwart, 3 mana for a 0/1. He gets in the battlefield with a +1/+1 red for its different color mana used to cast it. So, worst case scenario, he is a 1/2. Best case scenario, he is a 3/4, which is very strong. But even as a 2/3, we don't really are very happy about it, so I think it's pretty bad. We have Tataru Warcaller, 5 mana, 2/1, and on rally you get to semi-buff your team for +2/+2. I mean, it's a 5 mana for a medium buff, but whenever see an ally enters the battlefield, it's still pretty good for limited, but you don't want to have more than one of here because you don't want the 5 mana 2/1. We're going to have Territorial Battles, 5 mana for 4, on a land for it gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Very good card, decent sized. The landfall is pretty good. Moving on, we have Undergrowth Champion, so it's a 3 mana 2/2. On a landfall he gets a counter, and if damage will be dealt to him, well, he has a counter, you can remove a counter and prevent the damage from it. So this guy is actually pretty good. You would see definitely player in standard and could see play in modern some decks, we'll see, because it's not like the hiders. You don't remove one counter for his damage, you remove one counter and he is saved from all the damage. I understand the problem in modern with the bolt that kills him and is supposed to trigger instantly, and with path but still creatures die to remover, and the fact that this guy is harder to die with from removal, it's pretty good. In limited it's obviously a bomb, because 3 mana to do that can grow with a counter, so it's a perma grow, and then he can survive multiple fights. It's pretty good. Then we got our first instant only green fight card. It's 3 mana, devoid, target creature you control fights an opponent creature, and if the creature will die, it excites. So this card is insanely strong. It's 3 mana removal if you have a bigger creature, which most of the time since you're green you will, and exiling, processors, stuff, you get it already. We're going to have Void Attendant, 3 mana 2/3, devoid, and for 1 and the green you process a card and you get a 1/1. This card is actually one of the best uncommon processors, I think, because you get a straight value of a creature for the card you put from the exile of the grave, so pretty good card for limited. Moving on to our final spoiler for green, we have Woodland Wanderer. So it's a 4 mana to 2 fiddler star with converts to get a +1/+1 counter. So I think this card is one of the sleepers of the set, because some people really underestimate it. In absent decks this can be a 4 mana 5/5 with vigilance and trample, which is insane because it's already like a better Polychronos. This card is a real sleeper of the set, I believe. I think its worth won't be understood until Sis Rhino leaves standard, because Sis Rhino is one of the best creatures. We have the Rhino format, And this was all about the green spoilers. Next I'm gonna cover the rest of the spoiler, which is multicolor artifacts and lands all together. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next and final spoiler video.